Welcome to This Explainer. If you're a parent, well, picture this for a second. It's late, you are completely exhausted, the house is finally quiet, and then suddenly you are facing a tense standoff over a smartphone. Right? It is incredibly frustrating when bedtime turns into a total battleground over digital devices. And look, it is so easy in that moment of pure exhaustion to feel like your child is just being defiant or to really spiral and worry about digital dependency. But I want you to just take a deep breath. Today, we're going to look at this entirely differently. We're going to validate what your child is actually experiencing, and I'm going to walk you through a highly effective, structured way to navigate this exact transition. We're going to completely replace the struggle with a clear plan.
I can't sleep without my phone. I bet almost every single parent watching has heard some variation of this exact phrase. And in the heat of the moment, you might hear manipulation, right? You might think, oh, they just want to play one more game or they just want to watch one more video. But here is a really absolutely crucial shift in perspective. Your child isn't just trying to get one over on you. They're likely describing a very real pattern. For months, that device might have provided their music, their distraction from the day's worries, or even just the familiar signal that it's actually time to sleep. When you suddenly take it away, they aren't just being difficult. They genuinely might feel restless, lonely, or completely unsure of what to do with the sudden quiet. It is a real physical feeling of discomfort for them. Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our clear roadmap for today. First, the bedtime phone struggle. Second, identifying the hidden function. Third, the 6-part transition plan. Fourth, managing audio and worry. And finally, the 7-night experiment. Section 1, the bedtime phone struggle. Reframing the bedtime dependency.
So, the problem really isn't that a phone is biologically necessary for sleep, obviously. It's that it has essentially become your child's highly stimulating Swiss Army knife for bedtime. I mean, it literally does everything. It's an alarm clock, a flashlight, a stereo, a television, and a direct line to their friends, all wrapped up into one little glowing rectangle. And this creates what clinical psychology calls learned sleep associations. Basically, through sheer repetition, our brains link certain routines or objects to sleep. Their mind quite literally expects the act of scrolling before it can even begin to settle down. They may not even feel sleepy until a familiar video starts playing. So this isn't behavioral defiance at all. The sleep routine has simply become way too dependent on one highly stimulating object.
Because it's a Swiss Army knife, a phone can provide immediate comfort while simultaneously making sleep so much more difficult. On the helpful side, hey, a familiar audio track is genuinely calming. Texting a friend might actually reduce feelings of loneliness. But on the hurtful side, while they're listening to that calming audio, they are literally one tap away from a high-speed game or super stressful notification. It preserves this intense expectation that they must be socially available all night long. So listen, the goal of our plan is not to deny your child comfort, not at all. It is to carefully separate the useful functions of the phone from the features that just keep their mind alert and connected.
Section 2, identifying the hidden function. What is the phone actually doing? When your child says they absolutely need their phone, it's really just a symptom. To replace it without causing massive distress, we kind of have to put on our detective hats and discover the exact, specific underlying need it is serving for them. Just take a look at these common hidden functions. Is your child using the phone to block out the noise of the TV in the living room? Are they scrolling endlessly just to keep anxious thoughts at bay? Are they messaging friends because the quiet room just makes them feel super isolated? Or is it literally just functioning as an alarm clock and a source of reassurance? You can't replace an unknown need, right? As parents, you need to spend a few nights just closely observing what they are actually doing on the device before you ever try to pull it away. And honestly, the best way to find out, just ask them. And this is a really big but, ask this exact question during the day. What does the phone help you do at bedtime? Is it the sound, the story, the company? Please, whatever you do, do not replace the phone with a nighttime lecture. A long, drawn-out explanation about sleep science at 10 p.m. does absolutely nothing to calm the nervous system. It only elevates stress. Have the analytical conversation over lunch. At night, we need action.
Section 3, the 6-part transition plan, a structured roadmap to independent sleep.
All right, here is your structured roadmap to building new, non-interactive sleep cues. Step 1, exactly as we discussed, identify the exact function. Step 2, choose a lower stimulation substitute to meet that function. Step 3, move the phone away in clear stages. Step 4, create one single repeatable closing sequence. Step 5, proactively plan for the temporary discomfort your child will inevitably feel. And Step 6, review the progress in the morning. And this brilliantly illustrates how these exact steps move the child gently but firmly toward independence and self-regulated sleep. Let's look a little closer at Step 2. You want to really visualize swapping out that bright, high-stimulation phone for these low-stimulation substitutes. Think of calming navy and teal nighttime tones. If they need a story, offer a physical paper book. If they need noise blocking, get a dedicated sound machine or just a basic offline audio player. If they feel lonely, schedule a short, highly predictable parent check-in. The absolute key here is that the replacement must not reopen endless digital choices. It serves one function and one function only.
Section 4. Managing audio and worry. Troubleshooting the biggest roadblocks.
Let's be real for a second. This transition is absolutely going to hit some bumps, particularly around sound, or when the phone is basically used as a distraction from deep anxiety. If your child relies on audio, like a meditation, a story, white noise, that is totally fine. Keeping the audio is a very valid, low-risk transition. But we have to transition from interactive audio to safe audio. Interactive means the phone is physically in the bed, autoplay is queuing up the next thing, and notifications are constantly buzzing. Safe audio means the tracks are pre-selected, a sleep timer is on, and ideally the audio plays through a basic Bluetooth speaker while the phone itself sits out in the hallway. We keep the soothing sound, for sure, but we completely remove the interactive elements that tempt them to stay awake. And then, well, there is worry. When the endless scrolling finally stops, the quiet allows anxious thoughts to just rush right in. This is a truly critical moment. Don't promise them they won't have worries, that's just impossible. Instead, give them a worry notebook and use this exact script. You do not have to solve this tonight. Write it down and we will return to it tomorrow. It completely validates their feeling while giving the anxiety a physical place to park for the night. In fact, your language throughout this whole process is your superpower. Try a script exactly like this. I believe that falling asleep without the phone feels difficult. The phone will charge outside. You may choose reading, calm audio, or slow breathing. Just notice what's happening here. It brilliantly pairs deep, genuine empathy, acknowledging that it feels hard, with a firm, non-negotiable boundary about the phone's physical location. It offers choices, yes, but absolutely none of those choices are the smartphone. Section 5. The 7-night experiment. Tracking progress and matching the plan to age. Now, this entire approach is rooted in 2026 pediatric guidance, and it emphasizes that this is a gradual learning process, definitely not an overnight fix. You are essentially conducting an experiment to see exactly how your child adapts to building new sleep cues. But remember, the strategy has to scale with age. You obviously can't treat a 16-year-old like a 6-year-old. For young children, you need simple visual steps, and you're going to be directly involved. For school-age kids, let them use a short checklist to choose between 2 quiet offline activities. For teenagers, they must help co-design the routine. They should help pick the charging location and decide on emergency contact settings. Including teenagers respects their growing autonomy and the real social role of their device, all while keeping that firm boundary totally intact. They need to understand the system for it to become self-management.
Over these 7 nights, you're going to collect data. Track these specific metrics. Where did the phone actually stay? Which replacement substitute did they end up using? How much resistance was there? Did they try to sneak back to the device? And crucially, how did they feel in the morning? You ask these questions super casually the next day. Hey, what was hardest? What actually helped? Just remind yourself constantly. The whole purpose of tracking this is learning, not an interrogation. You're just tweaking a system.
Before we wrap up, let's just quickly highlight some common pitfalls you'll want to avoid. Do not mock their claim that they need the device. Remember, it feels very real to them. Do not return the phone just because they feel uncomfortable. Feeling temporary discomfort does not mean the transition plan is failing. It literally means the old habit is breaking. Don't remove the phone without identifying its hidden function first. Don't expect perfect sleep on night 1. That's a recipe for disappointment. And finally, please don't create a strict digital boundary for your child if you are sitting in bed scrolling on your own phone. We absolutely have to model the behavior we want to see. If you take away just one thing from this explainer today, let it be this core philosophy. The goal is not to remove comfort. You aren't trying to prove they never needed soothing. Your job is simply to help your child discover that becoming calm, feeling disconnected from the day's stress, and falling asleep is entirely possible without digital access. You are helping them build lifelong resilience and alternative pathways to rest. So, armed with this 6-part plan and a very healthy dose of empathy, I want to leave you with this question to think about. What new calming cue will you help your child build tonight? You have the tools, you have the roadmap, now it's time to reclaim bedtime. Thanks so much for watching, and good luck tonight.